to the next question. Someone says, I don't want to feel pressured because I am not doing so much now. So what words do you have for someone like me who isn't doing so much at the moment, but seeing other people do beautiful things? Do I support them, or what do I do?
All right, so there's this saying that they say, so yes, we are all going to breakfast last. Yes. Let me say it in English for you. Right, and the thing is, everybody, we all have our timings, and like I said before, purpose is in being and not in doing. There are times that God just tells me, don't do anything for this particular month or for 2 months. Don't just do anything, just be on your own. It doesn't mean that I've lost my essence. What a lot of people feel is that when you don't do things, you start to lose your relevance. So you feel like if 1 month I go off social media, people forget me. It's not true. It depends on the substance of value that you have on them. If you don't have value on them or value that you give to them, they would forget you. But once you know that you have value, you know that there's something you give to them, then you know that you're not worth forgetting. You're not somebody that you will just, people will be waiting for you. Right? Because you understand what you are coming to give to them. So when you know that you're not doing so much, everybody's doing so much, ask yourself, what am I supposed to be doing? Now, I use this illustration a lot. We're both going on a journey, right? And on the way, you branch somewhere. But I have a purpose, I have a vision that's where I'm headed to, not this place, Olamide branch. Now, this might be Olamide's house.
Hey, yes.
But this is not my house. So if I'm seeing Olamide off to her house, we've gotten to her house, she enters her house, but I'm headed to my own house. So I'm not focused on, oh, Olamide is now in her house. No, I'm focused on, I'm still going to my house. That's my focus now. So you're both on a journey. Everybody's on a journey. Right on that journey, some people will sit down at some point and be like, well, we cannot even kill ourselves. Let's just relax. That's what happens when people give up on purpose. When people say, I can't do it anymore. When people say, oh, this thing is becoming stressful. Because, of course, the process is going to be very hard. You're trekking. Right? Sit like that. You're on a journey. You're trekking. You're walking. There's no, like, people get tired. Some people get distracted. You start gisting with people on the way to purpose. Right? But you're seeing a vision. You're seeing somewhere you're going to. Everybody's on their own journey. You have to really focus on your own. Because when you stop focusing on your own, you start to pass the wrong direction. So because everybody's going this way, you're supposed to go this way, but you feel, oh, everybody's going this way, so let me go.
Go this way,
But God tells you at some point to wait. Don't move. Right? But everybody's moving. And I feel like the most sensible thing to do is just to obey God in that moment, or just to obey what's going on in your season in that moment. There are seasons where you have to wait. There are seasons where you have to move. There are seasons where you have to rest. Right? There are seasons when you have to retreat, when you have to just go out of where everybody is.
The next person says, how do one recognize that God is saying it's time to start a thing?
All right, so a lot of times, you have to look at the patterns by which God has already spoken to you before in the past. So you're looking at if God has, okay, so personally for me, when God tells me to do a thing, he knows that I have to go immediately. Like, he knows that for me, I will just go immediately. So when he doesn't want me to go immediately, he tells me, oh, I need you to do this thing at this particular time, not now. Do you understand? So if every time, God has always been telling you, oh, do this thing, and then he gives you a time to do it, you know that this is how God will speak to me, even when he needs me to start something. So you have to be able to look at, when does God need me to start this thing, as in, depending on how he has always spoken to you before. So there's times that God tells you a thing because he needs you to do it now, or because he needs you to do it later, or because he's telling you because something has happened before that he needs you to now connect with, or he's telling you, but he's just telling you, oh, move, but he's not telling you why you should move. Sometimes God just gives us instructions like that. So, and we call it the blind side, the foresight, and the hindsight. So for foresight is something that is coming. So it was for Moses, for instance, in scriptures, when God told him, well, I need you to take away the children of Israel out of Egypt to the promised land. There was a promised land. He knew that this was what he was coming to do. So the vision for him was to get them out of there and take them to the promised land. It was foresight. So for Abraham, his own was blindsight. It was just, God was just telling him, just move. I need you to just move. I need you to just, just go there and take these people to the promised land. God showed him somewhere that he was moving, but he did not know where exactly he was, right? That was different from Moses. He did not tell him where he was going. And a lot of times, God also gives us instructions and say, remember that thing that happened that time. And it happened for Joseph when he had a dream, right? But he was not able to, he did not understand what the dream was about. He just knew he had a dream. But later, things began to add up. So sometimes God gives us instructions or ideas, not for the now. It could happen in those 3 phases. So you just have to understand the patterns by which God has always spoken to you before to understand the now.
Wow. Okay, this person says, what should be the motivation to one's purpose? Like, what should motivate you?
Okay, the motivation to your purpose should be the people that God has sent to you to help. So a lot of times when God tells you to do something, it's because some people have prayed about it and they're saying, God, we need an answer. That's why people say you're the answer to some people's prayers.
Yeah.
So when people beg God, you're like, God, I need this thing to happen. Like, I need this thing so much. Now God creeps into your heart, all right, and gives you an idea and says, I need you to do this thing for this person. I need you to, not even for that person. Sometimes God doesn't tell you who exactly, but it gives you an audience. That's how you know that, I'm sent to women, because there's some women who are crying that, God, I need to be consistent in studying the word. But God meets you and says, I need you to help a group of women to study the word. Then before you know, you start to gather people, and that's why people start to think, they're like, oh wow, thank you for doing this, because they had a pain point that God needed you to address. So every time you have an idea, God is telling you this is the person. So you should always look at the people that are attached to that particular purpose or that idea or that thing that God has told you to do.
Wow. Okay. So this person says, can I fulfill purpose by fulfilling other people's purpose for them? Like, I don't support them without necessarily, like, can I support them without necessarily doing my own thing? Does it mean I might be unfulfilled? I think the person is saying that if I decide to support you now, like, fulfill your purpose with you, doesn't mean I can be fulfilling my own purpose alongside fulfilling your own purpose for you. And doesn't mean that I will not be unfulfilled because I don't have a purpose of my own or something.
All right, I think I get that. Now, a lot of times what kills a lot of people is the fact that we always want to do our own. So we always feel, I want to have my own program, I want to have my own business, I want to have my own this and that. And we now turn purpose to a sole proprietorship thing. We turn it to a business. We turn it to something that we're supposed to have our own. Meanwhile, we're looking at helping people. We're looking at the audience. You're looking at the people who have the pain points. So if God is giving you a purpose, sometimes you have to look at, how can I now get to this place? Sometimes you want to go through shortcuts. Sometimes you want to go through longer roads. Sometimes you want to go through the more interesting road. Sometimes you want to go through a road that will help you to get to where you want to get to faster. Right? And sometimes helping people even helps you to get there faster. Right? The fact that you're helping somebody doesn't mean you're not fulfilling your own purpose. In the long run, you realize that if you did not help that person, you will not know how to even do your own. There are times that you have to work on that people who are doing the things that God is saying you should do, so that you understand it, so that you learn it. It's not bad. It's not bad if you go there and say, I'm learning because I actually want to, replicate this thing. There's so much space. There's so much space when it comes to purpose. So nobody should even say you want to hold something to your chest, but you have started this thing first. When you're a visionary, right, you're not doing things because you just want to do it for yourself. You do it because you want other people to see it and use it. So you're not looking at just doing things or establishing things. Yes, you can't be selfish. Once you're doing things, you're like, I know some people will come up later and want to do this thing. Now, can I create a model by which they can follow and actually do this thing? So you're thinking, you're thinking more than yourself. You're also thinking for them. So if you come in the picture and you now start to help them in their purpose, you will be so surprised later on when God now tells you, I need you to do this, and you're like, is that why I had to go there? That's blind sight. Right? You start to now work in that, God is just leading me to this place. I don't know why. But at the end of the day, God now tells you, I need you to do the same particular thing. You're like, I did it when I was with that person in the organization.
Not like a fruit.
Yeah.
I'm amazing. Amazing. I'm really used to say that. Amazing. Okay, so it says, I want to do stuff too. I want to be everywhere like my mates doing big stuff, but I am confused. I feel stagnant. I feel like I don't know what to do and how to do it. Like, what do you have for someone like that?
All right, so the first thing you need to understand is your purpose again down the line. You really need to understand what you've been called for, because if you don't understand it, you'll be moving from pillar to post. You'll be doing so many things. You get too busy that you're not productive. You get yourself you spend your time on so many things that you're doing nothing. Like, at the end of the day, you don't see any results. So you first have to really understand your purpose. You have to really understand what you've been called for and focus on it. Like, focus on it, be on it, sit down on it, understand it, and know what next to do. Because when you start, it's just like you're on a race. I realize that when people are running and the other person at the front starts to look at who is behind, or starts to look at who is at the front, you lose gaze on where you're going. So if that person at the front, you're focusing on that person at the front. If the person goes the wrong way, you have to follow the person as well. But when you're looking at, this is where I'm going, and I think I can follow this way as well to where I'm going, then you start to follow that way. Such that even if that person goes through a wrong way, you're not concerned. But you keep looking back and you're like, are they coming? Once you keep looking back, you miss focus, you lose focus. You don't understand what you're doing again. But once you look at, just focus on your track. focus on your own lane and move with it. It makes things really easier for you. It makes you able to understand where you're going to, where you're coming from, and how you're supposed to do the things you're supposed to be doing, not uniquely. You're not doing it because somebody else is doing it the same way. You're not doing it because that's the same way they've always been doing it. So you're saying, this is what I want to do, and this is what God is leading me to do.
Wow, exactly. I feel like, anyways, let's go to the next question. Is friendship important for the journey of purpose?
Friendship is very important. It's very important.
Yes, very important.
Now I'll tell you why. And there's always been, from time, God had friends. When he said, let us make man in our own image, he had to call people. He knew that he could not do it just him. He was almighty, but he could not. He understood what it meant to be with people. He understood what it meant to be with let us. He understood that community. It wasn't just about him. You know, when he said let us make, he understood how community was very important. He understood how people is very important, right? He understood that he could not do everything on his own. The same thing with Jesus Christ. He had to call disciples. He had to call, and we see it scripturally happen all the time. So you have to really understand that there's nothing you can do on your own, right? There's nothing. Even we as human beings, you won't take out every other human being. You need God, and God is still your friend. So there's not how you can take away the picture of friendship or having friends at all.
Wow. I feel like I have a ministry to women, but I am not even confident in myself. How do I level
Yes, I think what I would advise to that kind of person is first work with somebody who is doing the same thing that you think God is leading you to do. So if God is leading you to women, probably to help them be confident, and you're not confident yourself, you can actually ask. The problem with people that we don't like to ask, we feel like we should figure it out on our own. And we even do it in the place of prayer. You want to ask, you need something, but you couldn't even ask God because you're so used to not asking your physical parents for something. So you don't want to ask God. You should learn to always ask. You should learn to say, please, I like the way you're doing this thing. How do I do it? The highest thing they will say is, no, I'm not teaching you. Then you move on to another person. And the good thing about life is that it's not just one person that is doing the same thing. So sometimes you see yourself even saying that almost everybody is doing the same thing.
Exactly.
Right? But it doesn't mean they're doing it the same way. So if this person doesn't answer you, you can go to another person and they will answer you. So if you learn from them, if aside learning from them, you can also talk to your friends about it. Talk to your friends about it. You need people in your life that can tell you can do this, that can hype you until you really get to do the work.
Wow, guys, wow. I'm blown. Like, I learned a lot of stuff about purpose, and even though I already knew some things before, I felt like I dived deeper. Things I didn't really understand before, I felt like I understood it more on a deeper level. Do you get? And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, Della, for coming. Thank you so much. This means so much to me. In fact, I've said it before. I am blown. I'm blown now. Okay. Thank you so much, Della, for coming. I really appreciate it. I learned a lot, and I'm sure that my subscribers also learned a lot. And definitely new people that will be coming here because they saw Della. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like. Please share. Please comment, please subscribe. I might have to divide this video into two. Just come back and watch the part 2 when it's up, and if it's one, fine with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.